ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהכל נהיה בדברו. The creation of the universe is actually an expression, a manifestation of God's unlimited power. He can do anything. He can create galaxies. He can create planets. He can create apes. He can create cattle. He can create human beings. He can do anything he wants. That is a manifestation of his unlimited power. So the Kabbalah says, God actually, once he started creating the world, had to do something that is called tzimtzum, which means retract a little bit in himself, because otherwise the world would have exploded as a result of his unlimited power. So after 6 days of creation, God ceased creating. Came Shabbat, a conclusion to the creation. Of course, many a jester has already said, you know why the world is what it is, because God created it in 6 days. Had he taken a little longer, maybe we would have had a different world. But this is just, of course, a jest. But in all seriousness, God had to limit himself, because had he continued creating, the world would have just expanded infinitely. So according to Jewish tradition, power which God showed in creating the world must be accompanied also by limiting yourself. The Talmud says, Eizehu Gibor, who is strong? Who is a hero? Hakovesh et Yitzro, somebody who can put limits to his physical prowess. Because if there's no limit to it, what you're going to have actually is really chaos in the end. The greatest Gibor in Jewish tradition, in scripture, is of course Shimshon HaGibor, Samson. He was so strong, he was able to destroy an entire building by pushing columns with his bare hands. But he was also a judge. He had to learn that there are limits to his power. He could, with the bone of a donkey, destroy an entire army. He could, with his bare hands, kill a lion. But he also had to know that there must be some limit to his strength. And when strength is not circumscribed, chaos, destruction eventually occurs. Nazis thought that they were unstoppable. Their tanks would cross over any kind of terrain. They sent missiles to London. Who knows? They were in the process, according to some, to create an atomic bomb. And who knows what the result of the Second World War would have been. So that when the Nazis felt so empowered, you had to put, in a certain sense, a limit to their power, to show them that this world cannot be ruled by brute power. Science is offering us many things. There are experiments with driverless automobiles, which may be a boon to society, maybe less accidents. Robots can do menial jobs in our home. There are vacuum cleaners that work sort of automatically. But on the other hand, maybe robots are also a certain danger. You know, we have great computers. I think that somebody said that our intelligent telephone is a much more sophisticated computer than NASA had originally. The first personal computers were really primitive next to what a telephone can do today, let alone what other instruments that we have developed. We see that computers can play chess, can be taught how to play chess, and no human being can really be a match to them, because they can figure out all the possible combinations in split seconds, and we cannot compete with them. As a matter of fact, that those who think that we will be able to create computers that will be able to think themselves won't need anymore any human instruction. Well, there's a problem with that. You know, science is delving into genetics, into the composition, the elementary composition of life, and we can maybe change certain manifestations of a human being, just as we manipulate with corn and with different vegetables in order that they become better in some way for human society. But on the other hand, we are dealing already, we are stepping into limits that may be very dangerous for human beings. There are those scientists that question, how come there being so many stars that supposedly have planets, planetary systems? In our own Milky Way, there are billions of stars with billions upon billions of planets maybe. How come nobody has ever tried to communicate with us? Maybe some did and we don't know how to listen to them. There's one scientist that said, you know why? They tried to communicate with us, but all these civilizations finally destroyed themselves. You know, we have the capabilities of destroying our planet nowadays. And if certain instruments were to fall in the wrong hands, who knows what the future will be. So therefore, on the one hand, power is very important. God created this world because he has unlimited power. But he also had to use tzimtzum. He had to, in a certain way, restrain himself, because unbridled, unlimited power can create many things, but among the things that it can create is total destruction as well.